just got engaged.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Plop, you plop, you dirty plop.
Wood chipper, dog. Put these motherfuckers in feet first.
I'm gonna go sell these catalytic converters, baby.
Point it more at my mouth.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that better, Daddy?
There you go. What's up, everyone? Today, welcome to another episode of Say Hi to Eli. We are interviewing the beautiful, the wonderful JD Delay.
You know, if you keep objectifying me like that, I'm going to get bricked up again. It'd be like the third time today. Yes. Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it. And look at this beautiful setup that you have. Everything's super professional. Your makeup guy took about half an hour to get my face right and even like touched my wiener. Is that extra?
Yeah. Well, his salary did increase once he started doing that. We didn't ask him to, but all the guests have been extremely happy from it. So after that, we're like, hey,
I mean, yeah,
bonus.
And you could use it as a tax write-off. Just say it's massages.
Yeah.
It worked for Epstein, right?
Yeah. Happy endings. It's, can you say the word?
What?
Just be like, hey, hi, Eli.
Hi, Eli.
Boom. There we go. It's weird. I'm trying to find out the best way to get the guest to say that. So that's why it starts with that, because the episode Say Hi to Eli and you guys intro it so good with it. I was like, oh, okay, we're going to find a good organic way to get that implemented each time. And I might have to just tell the guest beforehand. So.
I think you should have just told me beforehand, because then we could have prepped it. I could have been like, hi, Eli, or hi, Eli, or, you know, tried different tonalities and seen which one you liked the best.
We're using all those.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll just keep.
Hi, Eli, fucking wood chipper.
We don't edit this. That's the one thing I made sure. I was like, I want this as simple as possible, and I want it as organic as possible, where it's just a hangout, have fun, and then more importantly, like motivate, and then show people it's like, hey, by the way, yes, your life can suck at times, but I promise you, some people have had a harder lot in life, and look where they are now.
Absolutely.
And I think you are a testament to that. I mean, all the guys, the first time we all hung out, it was, dude, it's just fucking awesome to see. You're like, how many felonies did you hit? 52?
58.
50?
But I mean, who's counting? You know, like after you get one, you lose your gun rights. And like literally my thought process was like, okay, so screw it. I have to mark that box every time I go to like do a job application or a housing rental application, and I can't legally own a gun anymore. So I was like, it doesn't really matter what I do anymore. And I think that's like a part of stigmatizing people for something that, in my opinion, as a recovery professional, I think that there's an element of people that have an actual disease when it comes to substance abuse disorder or addiction. Like we try to p up the language of things to make people feel better and everything. But my first felony, as well as most of the people I know, was like a simple possession. It was like they caught me with $10 worth of meth. And for the rest of my life, for $10 worth of meth, I live with the stigma of being a convicted felon, right? So I think that sort of set me on a path to where, and I like to be able to explain that a little bit when I say something horrific, like, yes, I have 58 felony convictions, because that sounds like a fucking monster. The majority of them is for simple possessions, minor property crimes, you know, felon in possession of a weapon for having a pocket knife that's, you know, half an inch bigger than 4 inches, simple shit like that. But I did do other things that were terrible, and I like to take full accountability and transparency of that. But I think when we're talking about problems, we should also include at least the idea in the conversation of solutions. I think that, you know, Oregon had a great idea for a minute where they tried to decriminalize drugs, not make them legal, but decriminalize them as far as possession amounts. But the way they went about it, which is just right on brand for Oregon, was they just did it the worst way possible. They put all the money that they were supposed to put into treatment into just harm reduction, which I believe in harm reduction. I'm a Narcan distributor, but like spending millions of dollars on crack pipes and boxes of needles to just hand to people instead of doing a one-on-one exchange with the needles, and then the needles end up in your parks. They just executed it so sloppily that I knew it was going to fail from the beginning. Yeah. People need treatment options. So
it's setting people up for success. It's any kind of leadership. They were just like, we'll just throw money at it. We'll just give them the needles. And they're obviously going to fix themselves, right? No, it's not. Never the case. Going back to like the 58 felonies, though, you made that joke on the unsub episode, and I was like, oh wait, that was a highly specific one. You're like, well, yeah, that's how many I have, and I was like, what the heck? Wait, what? And you're very candid about it, but also, as you said, you have atoned for it, and you try. To this day, if I cannot just jerk this dude off harder, it is amazing to see the level of self-accountability you hold yourself to, and the standard you do, because it is next level. You, even a couple months ago, you maybe had to go to jail, and you're like, hey, I might actually have to go to jail, so I don't know if I can be on Say Hi or unsub, the scheduling. So there was that old ticket that happened.
Yeah, so it was a DUI from 2013. I was given probation for it, and I completely messed up the probation, man. I was still a mess. I was still using, I didn't do any of my prerequisites that I needed to do to handle my business like an adult after a DUI. Now, my DUI was for like marijuana. So I trivialized it in my mind. But honestly, I was driving impaired enough to get pulled over, So I was leaning over the steering wheel, driving like a little old lady.
Going under the speed.
Yeah, dude. Like
driving high. You're just like,
look, man, after I got out of prison, the chuckle brush and me don't vibe, bro. Before I went to prison, I could hit the giggle twigs and be relaxed. Now I'm just like, I flash back to like thinking they're going to come raid my cell with a canine unit because they smelled it, And so, I put everyone else's life on the streets at risk. So I needed to atone for that. I didn't handle it like an adult. I ended up going to the state of Florida, and I did a buttload of treatment out there, eventually. And my whole idea in going to Florida, besides just evading prosecution in Oregon, was that I was going to get clean. Florida's a horrible state to get clean in, by the way. Maybe don't do that. As soon as I got there, they were like, you came here you're stupid, bro. You're dumb. Nobody does that here.
Welcome to drugs.
I was there for like 10 years. So it was a very old thing, but they revoked my probation. And so I had a year probation, and I got it violated almost immediately because I was a complete and total jackass. So they could have given me up to a year in the county jail. And I hired an attorney, immediately hired an attorney, and, was like, hey, what do we do? There's got to be a workaround so that I don't have to do incarceration over this. It's so old. Can I pay a fine? In Florida, you can pay your way out of most shit. But I was like, I want to get this taken care of. I want to handle this the right way. He's like, yeah, this prosecutor's not going to go for anything but incarceration. And I was like, all right, well, let's do it. And I was like, is there any way to sort of mitigate, maybe get less time for this? And he said, well, bring in all your records and anything that reflects good on you. And so I had like Chris Hansen wrote me a letter of character reference. Sheriffs from multiple counties that I've worked with wrote me character reference letters. Bunny and Jelly Roll wrote me letters. Rich, Angry Cops actually wrote me one of the most like poetic, kind letters. Like literally when I read Rich's letter, I teared up, bro, because I was like, dude, this is such a good dude. And he sees this in me. Like some of this shit I never would have said about myself. I don't see it in myself, and it was funny because when I went into court, we were walking in, and I was like, my attorney was like, are you ready to go into jail today? And I said, I'm ready to go into jail today. And we get in there, and it's a different prosecutor. And he goes, hold on, he goes and talks to the prosecutor and comes back, and he's like, the prosecutor that wanted incarceration is sick. She got sick last night. This dude actually knows your content. He thinks it would be a waste of time to put you in jail, and he's willing to offer you community service instead if the judge will go along with it. And I was like, absolutely. He said, the only thing he asks is that you continue to speak about accountability and how far that can get you in life, because he knows that's a running theme in your content, is to take responsibility, take ownership, be accountable. If you mess up, own it, take the consequences like a man. And, that for me, it's not an altruistic act, for me to take accountability for my actions or something, like a lot of people aggrandize it, but like the truth of the matter is that that's the only way I stay sober, bro. Like if I don't take accountability for all my mistakes, like sometimes I can do it in the moment and I'm getting better about that. Sometimes I look back in hindsight and I'm like, fuck man, I could have done that better. I fucked that up. But I have to get to a place where I'm taking total accountability, because otherwise I tend to fall into a victim mindset. And if I'm in a victim mindset, things just happen to me and I'm not at the steering wheel. I'm not at the helm of my own behaviors, and I have to be at all times. Otherwise, I'll eventually end up back in bad patterns.
Yeah, relapse. And again, this is this year, and you owned up to it. And you, on that phone call, I remember the phone call, you still says, oh, well, I did the time. I did the crime, so I have to do the time. There was no fucking judge, no anger, no nothing like that. That's what, even more impressive. It was just your response, your accountability. And then you were just at peace with it. You're like, well, I did it. So hopefully I don't have to do incarceration. Hopefully I don't have to do a whole bunch of time. But I mean, I did fuck up. So it sucks that it followed me this long, but now he's here to collect his debt. So I have to just do it. And hopefully the best happened. And wild, absolutely wild, that the day of, that individual was fucking sick. How did that feel?
It's crazy, because I was facing a lot more time in Florida on one of my cases, and I had changed my plea so I'm facing organized fraud, counterfeiting, burglary, possession. Like, I've got a laundry list of charges, and I'm talking to my sponsor and I'm telling him, I know that I can get out of this because this was constructive possession. And once they take that off, everything else is what they call fruit of the poison tree. So if they do a search and it's on something faulty, everything else they find in that search, they can no longer hold against you. Right. And I'm telling my sponsor, I've got like maybe 4 months clean and I'm on $140,000 bond, and I'm breaking down to him how I'm going to go in the courtroom. I can lie and they won't be able to get me. And I'm like, I'm a jailhouse lawyer and I'm running all this manipulative, like shitty type of game. And he goes, have you ever beat a case you were guilty of before? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And like, I'm still bragging about this at this point. I'm like, I got up there and lied my way through it. And, they wanted 7 years and I didn't have to go. And, he was like, how long did you stay clean after that? And I was like, 3 days. And he was like, what was your mindset walking out of the courtroom? I was like, I'm bulletproof. I'm Teflon. Me, Godzilla, you, Japan, all that stupid shit. And he's like, how long did you stay free? I was back in the same unit in the county jail facing more time within 30 days. And he was like, so you need to go take accountability. And I'm like, bro, like they could legitimately give me 30 years for this. And I'm like, I can't go in and just own it. And he's like, you have to, if you want the life that you want, because God does not work like that, bro. He will not let you build the life that you want on a lie. You might get it in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to be 10 times harder on you. Anything you build on a lie is going to crumble, and it's going to be worse in the end. That advice echoes in my head at least once a day. And so I went in and I changed my plea and stood in front of the judge. And I said, Your Honor, I need to take accountability for my actions. I did this, and I need to change my plea. I now want to plead guilty. And the judge looked at me and he was like, okay. And he gave me this like menacing, growly smirk. And I was like, what the fuck did I just do, bro? Like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever done. Right. And so we put sentencing out like a month. And the day before I was to go into sentencing, my attorney called me and he said, hey, your judge caught COVID. And there's 2 judges you can choose, or we can wait for him. But I wouldn't recommend waiting for him because he's going to slam you. I'm like, no, like, who are these judges? And I jump on my laptop and he gives me the names, and I look one of them up, and he's the drug court and mental health court judge. And I'm like, that is our guy, because my whole premise for trying to get house arrest as opposed to going to Florida prison is that I'm now a recovery coach. I'm a peer support recovery specialist. I'm a smart recovery facilitator. I work at 2 different treatment programs, helping others. I have community outreaches, distributing Narcan, and raising funds for people in early recovery who need mental health services they can't afford. And that, I'm a changed man and I'm still taking accountability, but, maybe leniency for the changes I've made, hopefully, whatever I'm going to. And So we go with that judge, and I go in and I tell him, you know, I did this. It was not an isolated incident. I'm not going to lie to you. This was a pattern of behavior over the last 20 years while I was strung out on drugs, which was entirely my fault because I was an adult making adult decisions, and I let that bleed out on everyone around me. And I've left a trail of crime and chaos. And before that, I had about a dozen people speak from different treatment centers. And my now wife, we weren't married at the time, but my now wife got up there. And like, I think that was like the turning point, because she got up there and through tears gave the most incredible speech about the man that she knows not being the man reflected in those charges. And the judge told me, look, I will either give you 2 years in prison right now, no paper, you get out clean, or I'm going to max you out on as much house arrest as we can give you, which is 2 years. And then you'll have 2 years of probation afterwards. And that 2 years probation, if you come back during your house arrest or your probation, I'm going to max you out. And he said, I'm going to give you maximum exposure. I can give you well over 30 years on this. So do you want to bet on yourself staying the man you are today? And I was like, I will bet on myself for the first time in my life. And I haven't been on probation in almost a year now. 0 violations, none of that, everything like, and there's times where I feel like God absolutely intervened.
Brandon, hold up that travel size deodorant. Bring it closer to your face because it's not blurred. There we go.
Mando.
Acidified body wash.
The acid gets rid of all the dead skin cells, I think. I'm not a doctor, but a doctor designed it. I like how they wrote the script specifically for us because it says, do not talk about other brands. Please don't shame other brands.
They know us so well. That's why we love you, Mando.
Anyways, about our new deodorant, New Spice. I mean, Mando. Get it? Because New Spice is...
Grundle? The word grundle is in here.
How is it used?
Proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor level was 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average grundle odor level is 0 out of 10.
Did we just learn the metric for stink?
I think it's grundle.
Grundle is a slang term primarily used in the US to refer to the perineum, which is the area of skin between the anus and the genitals.
AKA the gooch, AKA the taint.
It's literally, if you type in Grundle, it says Grundle versus Taint. One of my favorite boxing matches.
They measured a dude's taint odor.
All I can picture is Grimace from McDonald's.
Grundle man?
Taint goblin.
Instead of handing out burgers, he stabs children. Run, it's Grundle.
Run is Grundle.
Mando covers everything: shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant. It stops odor, aka Grundle, before it starts.
This isn't your average deodorant or antiperspirant.
You can try Mando's starter pack. It's perfect. It comes with absolutely everything. As a special offer, you'll get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code, Say Hi.
Over at shopmando.com.
Like one time,
I mean, literally just the Florida case.
Yeah.
With its...
that was God intervening for sure. The thing that happened back in Oregon with the DUI, but while I was on house arrest is, people don't understand how difficult house arrest can be, because like you have to be exactly where you say you're going to be at every minute of every day, and you have to plan out your week over a week ahead of time. And then they come and they check. Like they'll show up, like if you're supposed to be, you get 1 hour of shopping a week. If you're not at the Walmart, they'll come to the Walmart parking lot and they'll call you and be like, I'm in the parking lot, come step out. They're constantly trying to catch you doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And they come to your house at wild times. So my PO would come to my house at like 6 to 6:30 in the morning. I get a call from my kid he's an adult. Don't judge me. He was an adult. He was 22, but he was drunk and he was lost. And like, I was like, where are you? He's like, I don't know. I can't see anything. It's dark. And I'm like, okay, we'll find a street sign. We'll come get you. And he's like, I don't see any street signs. All I see is fucking sand. I'm like, are you at the beach? He's like, oh yeah. Like that drunk.
That's what this water is.
And I'm like, do you see darkness in one direction and light in the other direction? He's like, yeah. I'm like, walk towards the light, son. Right. And I was about to go out and find him. Yeah. And my wife was like, you cannot do that. You're an idiot. Stay here. And I'm like, she never comes at this time. And she's like, I'm going to go get him. And I didn't like my wife being out that late at night alone.
Yeah.
Because I just don't trust people, and that's my wife. She goes out and gets him. The second she walks out the back door, I get a call from my PO, and she's like, please step out your front door. I'd have been toast, bro. I'd have been 30 years in prison. So there's times that like there were interventions in my life where it was such a close call, and I would not have made it through any of this without my wife. She was such a blessing, and she was such a soldier through this whole situation. Like, house arrest is set up to see you fail. They want to see you fail. And she made sure that I had everything that I needed. She made sure that I was on time to things. And it was just such a blessing, man. Like, my wife doesn't get nearly enough credit for the things that have happened in my life.
And just helping. Damn, dude. That is a lot of God intervening in great ways. And you're like, hey, oh shit, I gotta turn that. Just looked up. That's what I was like, why is the color off?
Oh no.
Oh, you're good. It's an easy fix. People were like, Eli, what happened? Like, nothing. I knew the problem.
Do we have to start over again?
No, fuck
I don't
no.
want to start over again.
No, we're never gonna start over. That
Yes.
not for that.
Yes.
I'll just see a couple of comments. They're like, "What was the like off?" But no. Again, it is, and how far you have came and worked each and every day, and now how you motivate others on the internet through. And again, you brought up being a victim, and you said that was your dark passenger. That is how you made excuses for everything you've done prior, where you're like, oh, well, I'm a victim. It's their fault. That's why I'm on drugs. That's why I'm doing this. This behavior is because of that X, Y, and Z, and taking no accountability. And that's the biggest message I always say. It's like, stop being a fucking victim. If you want to get anywhere in life, you cannot be a victim. You cannot make excuses, and you can't be like, well, I'm not where I should be because color of my skin, fucking my childhood, I didn't do good in college, or this one thing messed me up, or relationships. That's why I am where I am. Instead of your mindset's like, oh, when I was a victim, that's why I was fucking up. Now I'm not a victim, and look how far you are. Because I guarantee you, in 1,000 years, you would have never, getting out of prison, it's like, hey, you're going to be on social media doing quite fine compared to you've probably ever done in life, and also changing people's lives for the better and helping thousands, hundreds of thousands at this point. What was that like? And like that victim mindset, how much pushback do you get when you tell people stop being a fucking victim? Because I guarantee you're like me. You're like, stop making fucking excuses. Stop being a fucking victim. That is why you are where you are, because that fucking mindset.
Yeah. And you get a lot of pushback when you tell people that, because now it seems like the cool thing to do is to like sympathize with the criminals, sympathize with the addicts. And there's a certain amount of sympathy that I think we need to have with certain types of situations. You know what I'm saying? But like, they're taking it to such an extreme that it just doesn't make sense anymore. And I'll even get called racist for telling people to stop being a victim, take accountability for your shit, own your shit. That's how you win. You literally win by going, I fucked this up and I need to do better, you know? And I love that you are racially ambiguous, as the song would say.
Yes.
And there are so many types of jokes that you can make. And I'm just Irish. Like, I'm pink with red polka dots. I'm pasty. You know what I'm saying? I can make jokes about whiskey and potatoes and fist fighting and dancing really poorly. That's our whole culture. Uh-huh. I have very little in that. Can we talk about how racist it is that there's not more slurs for the Irish?
No.
It is so racist that we don't get any good slurs. We've got Mick and Patty. We could do better than those, bro. Like, they're so outdated. And so, like, I'm supposed to call my friends Mick or Patty. I mean, I'll do it, but like, can we get something that kind of stings a little bit? It's fucking dumb.
Put them in the chat. We just talked about this on Kind of Consensual. We created a slur out of nothing. We just wanted to see what it's like, hey, let's put some words that just sound offensive and then start putting them in the comments. We'll say it on Unsub and we'll see what happens. And you plop, you fucking plop, you dirty plop. Holy moly. Did that. I knew it was effective when Jack Mandeville was on Say Hi or Unsub. He's like, hey, oh man, I truly appreciated being on the episode. By the way, did I do something wrong? Everyone's calling me a plop. And I have a text about it. He's like, they're calling me a plop. Do they hate me? I'm like, bro, we made that up.
Bro, the first time I get somebody in my comments calling me a plop, I'm going to feel like I've achieved something in life for real. But isn't it crazy? Like the things that social media, I know that it's opened crazy doors for you. I've gotten to work with people that like, and hang out with people and be friends with people.
Jelly Roll write you and
Jelly
Bunny.
Roll and Bunny. And bro, like, let me just tell you, like, Bunny and Jelly are whatever you see about them on the internet. It is 100 times more authentic, kind, genuine when you're actually hanging out with them. He flew me and my wife out to Oklahoma City to hang out on tour with him for a day. And we were supposed to go into a prison and talk to people, but he was like, I'm so sorry, Bubba. I fucked up my dates. We're going into a kid's cancer ward today.
What a piece of shit.
I love kids and I hate cancer, dog. Like, let's fucking go. But he hung out with us all day, man. And he was like, hey, you ever done a cold plunge before, Bubba? And I'm like, no. And he goes, you want to get in a tub of ice water with a fat man in your underwear? And I was like, yes. So I did my first cold plunge with Jelly. And it was fucking incredible. Like, he does those every night before he goes on stage. But he usually eats, he has, his meal plan because he's lost a whole human, bro. I'm so proud of my brother, bro. He's lost a whole human.
Crushing.
And so he has his own private meal plan, but he was like, you guys need dinner. I'm going to go eat in catering with you guys. So he left the privacy of his green room and, his private meal that he had, he brought it with him, sat with us while we ate in catering. And he was asking my wife, why aren't you eating? And she's like, well, I have a medical condition. And he started just genuinely asking her questions about it. And like months later, when the first day he got off tour, his first day off tour, he FaceTimes me and he's like, hey, this was your wife's condition, right? And like, it is not an easy thing to remember. It's Barrett's esophagus. He remembered it and he was like, I'm going to try to connect you with my private medical team because I've talked to them about Barrett's esophagus and they've had some success with reversing it. My wife has precancerous cells lining her entire esophagus. And so dude remembered, and his first day off of a tour, the first day he's at home with his family, he calls to try to help my wife. It makes me tear up that man is that genuine and real, bro.
And I don't think to the viewers out there, this is a man when it's a tour. This is on the road for God knows how many days. He's on it for months at a time when he's on tour, correct?
Months.
And how exhausting tours are. I know in your guys' head, it's like, oh, you're only performing for an hour, 2 hours, and then you're traveling. And it sounds like that in your head until you have to do it. And especially with an individual who actually truly cares about his fans and the individuals he works with, he is there probably doing meet and greets, then being kind to everyone that's backstage, helping the team out, performing, shutting down, doing that the next day or the day after. And even for our tour, we did 3 days in a row max. We'll do, like this one, we're doing 2 and then 3, and it is fucking draining, dude.
Here's the thing that most people don't know about Jelly too, is that every single stop, part of his deal with God that he has worked out, his own personal, deal with God, is that he does something to help a community of people that aren't doing well everywhere that he goes, whether that's going into a prison, a treatment center, the kids' cancer ward, kids' hospitals. He goes and he does give back at every stop, at every single stop, because all his shows were sold the fuck out on this last tour, bro. Every single one of them. And his deal with God is that he takes the time out of what he's doing to help others every stop that he goes on. And he stays super true to that, bro. He's been to my home prison, Oregon State Penitentiary. Both times he's played Oregon since he's gotten big enough to be able to get access. He's gone into Oregon State Prison and just hang out with the inmates, love on them, give them hope and inspiration. And like I told the story about one of my first cellmates who's in there for a real long time. His uncle was doing weird shit with his little sister and he killed his uncle. He's been in there since he was 17 years old. I was talking to him because I still stay in touch with him. And he was like, yeah, I got to meet Jelly Roll. And I'm like, yes, Bubba. Yes. That's what's up, man. And dude literally changes lives everywhere that he goes, man. So like if I get to
a tour,
like, yeah, on top of the tour, bro. And if I get to a point where I'm able to go into prisons, I've been able to go into about 7 or 8 at this point. And like, that's my favorite thing. I will pay out of my own pocket to fly across the country and my own hotels and all that shit anytime when they give me access to go into a prison or a jail, because like, those are my, as weird as this sounds, this is going to sound bad. Those are my people, bro. Those are my people. Those are,
that doesn't sounding bad. That is the most motivational shit, because that you are the individual that should be there helping these people out, because you are leading from the front and you show them what is possible, because you have anything else that, oh, you can do it. Okay, well, how do you know? You haven't been in my shoes. You have been in their fucking shoes.
Exactly.
They can actually look at you, come out of those meetings, those meet and greets, those talks, and be like, holy shit, I need to change. That is fucking dope. That is your people, and that's awesome.
Well, and that's the first thing that I say when they'll let me speak to an assembly of inmates is, thank you for your time. I know it might seem like all you have in here is time and that your time might not be valuable, but let me promise you the time that you have right now is the most valuable time in your life, because this time is either it's going to decide the trajectory of the rest of your life right here. And you have to decide right now how you want that to go. And I just want you to know that when I look at you, I don't see people that are felons. I don't see convicts. I see future leaders of your community. I see future heads of your families. I see people that could change the world. And changing the world doesn't necessarily mean that you're running the biggest country in the world. It means that you're changing the world for one person at a time. And that is effectively how we actually do that, man. And so that's the message that I try to carry to them. And, I never would have gotten the opportunity to do some of those things without social media.
And dude, and again, just Jelly Roll reaching out to your wife after all of that. And still, that's the first thought. Dude, like, oh shit, hey, my private team, we looked into this here. I'm going to connect your wife and my doctors to figure something out of all of that. And to the people out there, I cannot stress how much work, effort, and how drained he probably was coming off the road. And then to immediately do that, like, shout out to that man. That is, it's so heartwarming. Oh, that means I'm a piece of shit. And that's what I love. Dudes like that make me feel like a piece of shit, because I'm like, I'm not working hard enough. I need to do even better now, because that's fucking motivating.
Well, and on top of it, man, like, so he had just gotten all of his teeth replaced.
Yep.
Because he had bad teeth. He grew up in poverty. He grew up not taking care of himself. You know what I'm saying? Like the same as a lot of Americans. And so his teeth were bad. He had all his teeth replaced, but he got up underneath, he got an abscess. And they were like, you need surgery. And he's like, I have sold out shows and people that I'm not going to let down. So he hired a private nurse to come, and he would do IV antibiotics and, fluid drips. And like, he was being monitored very closely for that entire tour so that he didn't let those people down. And he had that on top of everything else. He had to get surgery to get that addressed as soon as he got off tour, but he refused to let his fans down because he knew that these are hardworking people who spent money on those tickets. We don't.
Oh, God. This Ghostbed mattress is cool, comfortable, and amazing. And when you pair it with one of their amazing pillows, it's better than doing the deed. She heard that. And another thing, the bed can't leave you. Oh. Well, looks like I'll be sleeping alone. But at least I'll be sleeping cool and comfortable with their new technology. And they're built to last. High quality, durable material, backed with a 20 to 25 year warranty. That's gonna last longer than my marriage. And they have 60,000 5-star reviews. I sleep on a ghost bed, I swear by it, and I couldn't go back, even for her.
Right now, prices are already lower, but you'll get an extra 10% off if you use code Eli at checkout. That's ghostbed.com/Eli. Use code Eli. Sleep better and stay cooler. I miss her, but I can sleep like an angel.
Sorry,
Artists-
$30 is a lot. That's why they will always hear, for our point, because you have that same mindset, like, especially growing up from poverty. It doesn't matter how we're doing now. It is. And Jelly Roll, I guarantee, has that idea. These people, these blue collar workers, anyone, they came to my show. They bought this ticket. They spent maybe $30, $60, however much. That is a lot of money a lot of times. But this is their moment of respite. This is their, I get to go out with girlfriend, friend, family, whatever, and I get to watch this dude. This is my break from.
How many times a year do they get that, Eli?
Exactly.
How many times a year do people get a moment where they get to lose themselves and celebrate and do something, like that? And it hurts the wallet, a lot of people travel for shows and everything. So like, that's an honor to me. And I know that to Jelly, Jelly is someone that I was listening to when I was trapping, when I was out selling dope. I'd listen to Jelly Roll or Mercules. Mercules is another one. I don't know if you're hip to him. He's a Canadian rapper. He's actually on Death Row Records.
Oh, no shit.
He's huge, bro. He's great. And he invited me out to the Bend show, pulled me on stage, bro. He's in recovery as well. So like, he'd been watching my content for like a year before he ever said anything. And as soon as he popped up in my chat, I'm like, bro, I've been listening to you for like a decade. I fucking love you, bro. And he has me come out to Bend to hang out with him. Me and my wife are hanging out on the tour bus with him and his fiance, talking till like, we hung out with him all day and talked till like 3 a.m, bro. I do not stay up till 3 a.m. anymore. I am not on tweaker time anymore, bro. Like, I don't go out to bars. I don't do anything, but the conversation was just so true and genuine that we just hung out like super late. I turned into a pumpkin, man. I almost fell asleep, but it was just so cool, man. And, I've gotten to hang out with some dudes that I really genuinely like kind of came up through, they were using at the time or selling at the time. And then we all kind of got clean at the same time. And it's just so cool, man. And to be able to get up on stage with dude was so much fun. And it was crazy because a lot of my crowd happens to be these two dudes' crowd as well, because of the stuff that we talk about, because of the crime, because of the addiction, because of the recovery. And me and Merc were out there signing autographs for like an hour afterwards. And we both had equal amounts of people coming up asking us for autographs. And I'm like, I'm not even good at sure, absolutely. I'm hugging everybody, bro.
Dude, getting those selfies, and you feel so bad when you have to, like, when we get kicked out of the theaters, it is like, hey, we gotta go. Like, we have to go, hugs, and you're trying to get the last moments and those last selfies with everyone that's supporting you. But that high you get from it, that is like better than any drunk, better than any high is that high right there. And all the nerves getting on stage, I'm sure you had when you got up on stage. You're like, oh shit, there's a lot of fucking people.
Bro, so I was in metal bands for like most of my life, punk rock or metal bands. I love getting on stage. Like I was a fucking slut for stages back in the day.
Stage presence. That's our Rich. That's what Angry Cup. That's his jam.
Yeah, I love that shit, right? That shit, that's a high for me, a natural high. But also at the time, I was drinking or doing other recreational stuff back then. It's a little bit different now, but like, I'm still pretty comfortable with it. But like, I was doing my Narcan distribution, and it was during the pandemic, and we had the highest rates of overdoses we had ever had in the state of Florida. During that pandemic, people were just dying. They couldn't get to their meetings. They couldn't receive services. So that's why I started the Narcan distribution. And so we were going out into the hood where no one else would go, because there were other people handing out Narcan, but they wanted to do it in the hospital parking lot underneath the surveillance camera or the parking lot of the police station. And people don't go there. Nobody who needs that shit is going to go to those places for it, because they're going to think it's a trap, bro. They're all paranoid. So me and my volunteers are walking out into the hood, like the spots where people don't drive there at night. And I'm out there, and it's like social distancing, 6 feet away from people, wear a mask. I'm out, my dumb ass is out there, no mask, hugging people, pulling people out of the bushes to give them a hug and hand them snacks and shit like that. And like, it doesn't matter what level it's on. Anytime that I can make somebody's day just like a little bit better, bro, that shit, like, I feel like it's super selfish, I think, at a certain point, because I traded getting high on meth or doing high speed chases for the high of like helping other people.
It's that, and it's that hard one where it is a selfish reason, but it's a good selfish reason. Because do you have that thing for that mindset where you don't want to show it because you feel oh, look at me. I hate posting that stuff on social media of trying to do a good thing, because in my head, it's always, well, a good deed is something I don't need recognition for. But then on the flip side, especially in the positions we are, it is, well, maybe this good deed will get other people to do more good deeds because they see us doing it. And that's where we started doing the making it a community aspect, like when we sell the shirts or the veteran streams. That's where my mindset went. I was like, oh, well, this way everyone feels involved and they feel good together. And then hopefully it motivates and everyone gets to do this. It's like, hey, look what I did. I did something awesome. And then it's larger than life at that point.
Then they catch that fire too. And
yes,
they understand the feeling. See, I needed to hear that. You just put me up on game, because I hate posting. If I do something for somebody else, I feel like a fake motherfucker if I post that. I do everything I can not to post the things that I'm doing that, because it feels performative, or like you're doing it for the wrong reasons, or like, look at me, I'm such a good person. So I don't post. I stay far away from that. You know what I'm saying?
When I pulled up today, like, you were doing the social media, you're like, oh, you caught me being gay doing social media, because it sucks, dude. You're like, fuck, I hate this. So, yo, what's up? You put on that high energy. You're like, okay, I gotta go. And then your friend walks in and you're like, fuck, dude, what's up? Oh, they caught me. Yeah. Same for, oh, I'm doing good. I don't want to tell anyone, because then I feel icky posting this good deed to the world to see, and I can't have that. But maybe it's a good thing. How do I do this properly?
But I needed to hear that, bro, because I think that there's a proper way to do it to where you can inspire others and they can find that same fire, because it is so infectious. And like, that is the type of thing that starts a movement that helps more people, that eventually changes things for individuals' worlds, which is what the goal is, right? So I needed to hear you say that. I'm always like, I live with a low key fear of being a social media influencer, diva type, or one of those like assholes who flexes what he wants. Just so y'all know, fake chain. Fake as fuck, like $80 on TikTok shop. If y'all want the link, we'll figure it out for you. I don't spend money on myself, bro. Like, this is the only piece of real jewelry that I own, and it was a gift. I went on the X5 podcast, and my good friend Charlie had this made for me with black diamonds, and I wear it everywhere because it just, what Charlie did for me when and he's such a kind and genuine person. But I don't spend money on myself. Like, other dudes are out like, check out my Rolex or my, my Bentley watch, and I'm like, I got a pink G-Shock, homie. What's up? You know what I'm saying?
I did this first thing. I was like, man, that's a dope ass pink G-Shock.
Bro, I love it.
I love pink.
I love it, dude. Pink's one of my favorite colors, man.
As you can tell from my side of the wall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, pink. Yeah. It's hard, man. It is. I think if you start doing that community aspect or figuring out how to get that movement going, it doubles every single time. When we were doing, this year, once we do the veteran month and raise money, we'll do our merch sales, and we'll do probably a live stream or two. Once I hit that, I will officially get to say I've donated over $1 million in veteran causes and autism and special needs. And that's I'm like, oh, I get that number, but it still wouldn't have been possible without all the amazing people out there. But every year we do something, like even the autism nonprofit shirt. We went from 110,000 last year to 235,000 this year.
Yes,
the
dude.
Buffalo thing, just that one video. We were like, oh, hey, we'll just do the AdSense, and then people donated to it too. So it was like $23,000 off of a single video in a week, just to write that check to help families out dealing with in that Buffalo Family District for, I think it was like abuse or domestic violence, all those little things. And then the veteran one, we're shooting for $225,000 this year for the shirts. And again, it's every year. It will usually double on how much you raise because people hear about it, they see merch from it, so they get involved, and then that next year it grows, and then it grows.
Well, and dude, as a parent of kids that are on the autism spectrum, thank you guys so much for that. It's so beautiful what you guys are doing. I appreciate that so much.
It's all them.
It's all them.
That's all them.
Eli's just passing the buck. You hear that? No personal accountability, brother.
Dude, it is awesome to see just how it's that mindset. And probably one of my favorite DMs I get are when parents reach out and like, hey, I have a kiddo, they have autism. I was struggling with the idea of it or handling it, but your patience, kindness, how you talk about it made it easier for me, and it lit a fire, and I'm approaching this the wrong way, or I'm looking at this the wrong way. So once I started looking at this way, me and my kiddo have a way better relationship. Holy shit, they do have little superpowers. I'm like, they do. Like, yeah, Ryden's not going to win an eye staring contest. Brian's not gonna he's gonna struggle on having some conversations, but holy shit, he will blow your mind with the stuff he actually cares about. And that's why I'm like, okay, little man, let's dial this in, because you are going to be better than anyone I know, because you're just going to be hooked on it no matter what.
Absolutely. That ability to hyperfixate and to just adapt within whatever actually interests them and does it for them it's incredible, dog. And if a parent can learn to help them harness that's what it is, man. By the way, you just got engaged.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know. I know that I was just one in many of the jealous men in your Instagram post comment section who was like, Eli's off the market now, but congratulations, man.
Dude, I literally told Sav last night that should have been my fucking my title is like, sorry boys, I'm off the market. And I was pissed that I didn't put that. I was like, damn it, I forgot. That would have been such a good joke for the description. She's like, and then you just said,
well, yeah, dude, look at that, read through the I'm like, oh, I've got it, totally original and witty comment, and I scroll the comment, I'm like, fuck. Fuck, there's a lot of heavy competition in here, guys. Whole lot of verified checkmark dudes in here that are pissed off about this one.
These boys are thirsty. Yeah, we took 4 years. How did you meet your wife?
This is an incredible story, honestly. So I was just a dude facing 30 years in prison with a couple months clean that I had scraped together, sharing a room with a dude at a sober house. We had a room and 2 dudes living in a small room, just me and him and my little service animal. And he knew this girl and was talking to this girl kind of, and she they were friends. She wasn't feeling him in any sort of romantic way. He kind of was, but she didn't like him. And so they kind of stopped talking, and me and her ended up talking. And I don't understand to this day what this woman saw in me, because she's smart, funny, intelligent, way better looking than me, but she just kept talking to me, and I just kept demanding that she's going to marry me someday. Right. I think it was in the first conversation we ever had. I was like, I'm going to make you marry me someday. And she's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of deflected it and everything, because I'm crazy. It's the first time we ever talked.
We kicked out of our coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. Way out of my coverage, bro.
Same, dude, same.
But and she literally made me talk to her for over a month before she would even meet me in person, which good for her. Kudos for her. You're talking to a felon who's facing more shit. She did a full background check on me to make sure I wasn't a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? She's an intelligent woman. And super capable. And we finally met, and it was just all the sparks. And, I told her at a point, I was like, I might genuinely have to go to prison for a long time. And she's like, I don't care. I'll wait for you. And I'm like, yeah, everybody says that. Nobody does it. She was the first person I really kind of believed would, but I didn't really want her to have to do that, because it's miserable, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The people that when you love somebody and they're in prison, a part of you is in prison as well. And I don't think that a lot of people realize that until they have a loved one that's locked up. And that experiencing that myself was something that I needed because when I was in my addiction and I was committing crimes, I was like, I'm only hurting myself. And it's so not true. Now I know what it's like to love an addict who's out of control and watching them deteriorate or be locked up and, you know, having to only be able to talk to them through letters or phone calls. But she wrote out 100% all the way and just kept writing out, bro. And I'm only the man that I am today because of the woman that she is and the time that she's invested in me. I was not an emotionally mature person. Like, I've always been intelligent. I'll give myself that. But like, as far as emotional maturity, I atrophied my personal development and growth with drugs for a long time. And I don't want to pass off the buck or make it seem like I'm blaming, but the person who molested me when I was 6 years old, I know that there was a part of me that couldn't process that and that I stopped developing when that happened to me as a child as well.
I don't think that's passing off the buck. That is one of those, I mean, the psychologically, that is something that will stunt because your brain will have its defense mechanisms to actually, hey, okay, I have to block this. The id will then separate it and then either black it out and then you're also not trusting adults. You're going to have that, and that's a lifelong problem. When Gary was on, it was his second grade teacher, and it was, again, a person, an adult in a role of power and leadership or a teacher. And then when that happens, that's going to fuck you up for a long time. And a lot of the times you're not going to have money or that embarrassment and then getting help, the proper help, and talking about it. Especially as a dude, you know, it's fucking hard to talk about shit, especially that. You're like,
especially in the 80s, bro.
Dude,
like, we've come a long way. And that's part of why I talk about it so avidly. And like, I don't want to come on the internet in front of millions of people and say I was molested by a man when I was 6 years old. That's fucking terrifying, dog. Like, that's demasculating to a certain extent. And what happened to me when I was a kid was not my fault as a kid. When I became an adult, I carried that around like a security blanket to keep me safe from having a personal accountability for a long time. And I own that. That was me. I did that. It's when you cross the threshold of being an adult that you have to take accountability for it. But my development stopped. So she literally was dealing with somebody who, in certain aspects, emotionally, as far as emotional maturity, was either a 6-year-old or, you know, super underdeveloped, bro. I was all fucked up. And she is smart enough and strong enough and patient enough to have worked with me and to have seen who I am beyond that and to have helped me find my footing. And I'd never been in a healthy relationship before in my life. Neither had she. So we struggled to find what that dynamic is. And we still, to this day, we have not had a single fight. We have never had one fight. We've
disagreements, probably.
We've had disagreements. There's been stuff we've disagreed upon, but like, no one's ever raised their voice. There's never been any type of like, and you know, it's just because I respect her so much, bro. Like, we respect each other on such a intrinsic level. You know, she sees the work that I do. Just getting back to how important I think, though, it is to open those conversations, especially for, I'm not taking anything away for female victims, especially female child victims, but for boys who were molested by men. So when I do public speaking, I always include that. Standing in front of hundreds of men and telling them what happened to me when I was 6 years old is not fun. It's not like, you get more used to it. But the first time I did it was at an AA meeting, and there was like 46 strangers there, all dudes. It was an all dudes meeting. And I said that, but afterwards 3 dudes came up to me and said, that happened to me and I've never talked about it. And seeing you talk about it made me feel like I could tell at least you. I feel safe telling you. So if we're creating a safe space for more men, or, you know, to come out and talk about it, eventually that's going to lead to a culture where when it happens to boys, they're going to know that there's safe people to go and talk to. And that means that it's not going to continue, that people are going to get busted, and that's going to lead to less kids having that happen to them.
They won't have
which
that
is
shame.
why I think it's so important that we have these fucked up hard conversations that social media honestly likes to censor.
Oh, yeah.
They like to shadow ban us for it and shit like that. You know, you can't use certain words. I'm not going to go through all the words and get this video all fucked up, but you know,
it sucks because even like with veterans is an issue, blah, 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 but we can't talk about it because then that word flags.
That word flags, and then they send you a little email that says, do not reply, but if you need help, please reach out to somebody, and they take your video down.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, how can we talk about this? How can we discuss this if we're not even allowed to say the fucking words?
Yeah.
And we have to use sewer slide or PDF file. Like, it's weird.
Dr.
shit.
Seussing the language sucks, bro. You
Dude.
know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can use kindergarten commando, you can use diaper sniffer, you can use playground extraction specialist, you can use rock spider, you can use, which is Australian. By the way, shout out to my homies down under. Y'all are tight. You know, do you know what that stems from? Rock spider? Rock spiders are spiders in Australia that crawl into tight crevices. Oh, bro, when I found that out, my Australian crowd had been saying rock spider forever. And I'm like, where does that come? That doesn't make any sense to me. And somebody told me and my stomach hurt. I was like, oh God, you guys are hardcore. Nonce is a big thing in the UK and Canada.
No shit.
Goof is really big in Canada. They call goofs there.
No
or a
shit.
squid goof is an even worse. So we have to use terminology to work around it instead of saying like you are a fucking baby. It's not assaulting a young adult or anything. They want you to use this super soft language. No, you fucking raped a baby brutally.
Yeah.
There's stories that I think we should be talking about. Like in Oregon, the last thing that our last governor, God, before we got Kotex, don't let me tangent on how bad the leadership in Oregon is, but the last governor before she left commuted the death sentences of every single inmate on death row. And one of them I actually knew from the streets. We had a drug deal that went bad because he's a piece of shit. And I actually kind of put hands on the dude. And then he ended up doing horrific things to an infant. Horrific, like burning with a blowtorch after, and all this shit. And he was on death row and he was to be executed. And this governor on her way out the door is like, yeah, we'll let him live the rest of that infant they found in a ditch, homie, dead. But you're going to let him live.
See, that's fucking wild.
And that's that push to soften things.
Mm-hmm.
We have to empathize and sympathize with people who've done crimes no, we don't, bro.
No.
Take them off the fucking planet. Don't give them 40 years worth of appeals. I like my buddy Sheriff Grady Judd. I don't know if you know who he is from Polk County, Florida.
Yes.
He's the one who's always talking about shoot him a lot. We shot him so many times you could read the Sunday paper through him.
Yep.
My buddy, he's like, I like the electric chair. I'd like to make an electric bench. We can fit more of them on there and get it done quicker. I'm with that shit, bro. Most of the people in the prison community on social media are super anti-death penalty, and I am 100% the other direction because I have seen real fucking evil, bro. I've seen people that are real fucking evil, and I know that you have too.
People don't understand that exists out there, and that's the issue. We live in this beautiful thing in America, and people still aren't thankful for that. They think we have it bad. We're a third world country, and you're like, oh no, we have a wonderful, even the bad areas still significantly better than a true third world country where life has zero meaning. Like here, it's still rare where somebody will walk up and kill you for your cell phone. That is a rare thing. But in some countries, oh, you have a cell phone, pal. Okay, thank you. That's mine now. And then walk away. That is evil. There is no baby rape. That's the shit or anyone that does that crime. What is the statistic? Like, there's no recovering. That is, they're not going to get better. It doesn't go away. Like, that is just the chance. I don't know the number of repeat offenders. I'm assuming it's extremely high once you've done it one time.
Yeah, so I believe it's like 60% get caught within the first 5 years. Those are kids that are getting, and the average, from what they're able to track, has at least 12 victims throughout their lifetime. That's 12 kids given a fucking life sentence. The first time we catch them, it's no longer a risk that we should be willing to take.
No.
What do we do if a dog mauls a child? Sorry. And I like dogs better than humans, bro.
Yeah.
I like dogs better than humans. But if a dog bites a kid's fucking face off, they put the dog down.
Yep.
But you've got these dudes out here who can get bricked for an infant, and they do terrible things to literal fucking infants, toddlers, 6-year-olds, 13-year-olds. And you're going to like, the more liberal states, they're getting probation, bro.
And again, those kids are, I mean,
Scarred
in general,
for life.
yeah, scarred for life and recovering from it. You, Gary, are the exception. And that's what sucks, because it is a rare thing to pull through that. Gary, that's his turning point in life. He was like drug addict. Everything stemmed from that moment in his life. It's like, yeah, I can reflect. And I've I've made peace with it, and now his own accountability on staying sober, how he stays sober, and where he is. He's very thankful, but it goes back to that moment and why he's so against a lot of same thing, like anything with or how they're treated or how to get the kiddos getting help and how fast it should happen. And then the school system, dear God, does he hate the school system, because he's like, you're fucking telling me that we've like churches or the Catholic Church or Hollywood, these places where kids are prevalent, but where they are the most prevalent in schools, there's not going to be a giant, massive problem. And as we've seen in Buffalo, I'll just cover that shit up.
Bro, I'm going to tell you, schools and churches are some of the worst. First off, it's a target-rich environment.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And secondly, it's an environment where, especially in churches, bro, because and like, I think that, and this isn't an affront to anybody who's religious, and I'm not saying just one particular church or religion. Churches are heavily founded on the idea and principle of forgiveness, and that God can cleanse you and that God can make you new again. And I'm sorry, like I love God. I have a personal relationship with God. I start every single day asking God to guide me, to speak through me, to put my voice to the right ears, that he keeps me on his path, not my own, because I know I'll end up in a fucking ditch if I'm acting on my own. And I end every night thanking him for that throughout the day. But I'm just going to tell you, you cannot rehabilitate fucking and it's just not a thing. Somebody who is sexually attracted to a child, Eli, you like women, correct?
Yes.
Is there anything that I can say to you to convince you that you want a big purple pipe in your throat? No, there's nothing you could say to a that's going to convince them that they don't want to do horrific things that are going to ruin a child. And I don't even think that it's entirely sexual. I believe that it's more based in things like power and control and stripping away the innocence from someone.
Yep.
Those are the things that I think are the key elements, because it's been proven that you can castrate somebody, physically castrate somebody. They'll use their fingers or their mouth or objects to do the same type of brutality to children. So that tells me that this isn't like just a sexual thing. You've chopped somebody's balls off. They're not getting bricked up anymore.
No.
They don't have testosterone running through their system. This isn't a sexual urge. It's an urge that's something much more disgusting and sick. And so churches and schools are now at the point where it's become so rampant and prevalent that they're getting SAM insurance, which is assault and molestation insurance.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. It's
Holy
a
shit.
billion-dollar industry in this country. Insurance to, what they do is they go in, say, a teacher or a youth pastor, a kid, and the parents are like, yo, what the fuck? And they immediately are like, hold on, we've got something for this. And the insurance company will pay them out to sign an NDA, and parents are getting paid for their kids getting raped, dog. And they'll like shuffle the youth pastor, like they'll be like, we'll get rid of him and you get, $100,000 settlement out of this. And they're paying every month for this insurance in case that shit happens. But that youth pastor, it never goes on his record. Nope. Teacher, it never goes on their record. So what happens is they go to another church or another school and they do the same ass shit.
Yep. And that's, I know with the Buffalo thing, that was the biggest eye-opening thing. It was the sheer amount that was happening in the Buffalo district, but then the amount of DMs saying, hey, we have this problem here in this state, this state, this state, this state. And you're like, oh, this is a nationwide problem.
I
Oh,
got-
100%. This is a fucking nationwide problem.
When you guys started covering that and I did some coverage on it to try to amplify it, I got so many, I flooded with DMs talking about you guys need to come here, you need to come here, you need to come here. And trust me, if I could devote my entire life to doing that, I absolutely would have answered every one of those DMs and I would have gone to every one of those places and I would have researched the shit out of it. But you guys don't understand, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not ignoring your specific problem. It is a general problem across our entire country. And like, what's the solution? I mean, I know what I think it is. Fucking wood chipper, dog. Put these motherfuckers in feet first. Check it out. I know Trump is a businessman, right? And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, he needs to go in the wood chipper too. Fine, cool, whatever. Like, as soon as you provide proof, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to threaten him. Not on the internet. What the fuck? But bro, like, here's the thing. He's a businessman. So pay-per-view that shit, dog. I know that I have millions of followers who would absolutely pay money to see every Friday night child predators in wood chippers. You know what I'm saying? We could start up the Coliseums again and make them gladiator fight. Can you imagine like some dude with Coke bottle glasses and a fortune out there trying to swing a sword like you've got over in that corner, and another dude who's like super skinny and fucking sucked up and has like a fucking neck beard? Bro, it'd be great. Just fight to the death. Whichever one of you lives gets to walk away. Wood chipper.
I'm just picturing the Mortal Kombat screen. It's always, as you said, someone with Coke bottle glasses or whatever. It's like, versus Mr. Chippy. And every time it's just Mr. Chippy wins because it's that dude getting tossed into it. It's like, winner, Mr. Chippy. It's
Yeah.
like, well, that really doesn't get a fight back. They just feed him into it each. Okay, whatever. It's fun to watch. We make billions of dollars would be made doing that.
Absolutely, bro. If you really want to get rid of our deficit, bro, I mean, we have the supplies. We've got literal hundreds of thousands of child predators. Just go look at the numbers on Roblox alone.
Oh, dude, that entire thing that just came out too, which it is extreme. It's terrifying as a parent. It's like, oh, fuck. Okay, I got to watch this. Thankfully, Raiden doesn't care. And then the other side, though, with neurotypical kiddo, it's okay. Bud, who are you talking to? Okay, everyone's an adult, right? Yeah, everyone's an adult. Okay, cool. That's great. The voice to chat hopefully does help a lot more because I can hear actually, oh, these are all kiddos playing whatever their VR game is, but still fucking terrifying at the end of the day.
You know how deep all that shit goes, right? That, you know, you're a parent, you know Roblox or Robux. So Roblox has their own currency called Robux. I know this. I have kids.
Yep.
I have kids that were playing this fucking game. I was buying them Robux. There are predators on this game, adults that are going, and they are literally giving kids Robux to go in the bathroom and take pictures of themselves. Then once they have the first pictures, a lot of them are getting sextorted. You know what sextortion is, correct?
If you do that,
if you don't do this, this, and this, I'm going to spread these on the internet, or I'm going to send these to your parents and show them what you're doing, or I'm going to report you to the police for giving me child. And a child doesn't understand that, holy fuck, this is a predator who just got child sent to him. He's going to be in trouble, not me.
Yeah, they're going to be terrified. They're just going to be like, oh shit, I have to do this now.
Yeah, they feel like they have to do it. And then the things that they're asking him to do, like some of these cases, if you look at it, it's so fucking horrific. Like, I need you to take pictures or video of you doing this to your younger sibling, or in some cases, household pets. And they're sextorting literal children into doing sexual acts with other children and pets and filming it and sending it to them. Like, this shit is crazy. And instead of addressing it, Roblox has tried to hit Ruben Sim, who exposed them, with a $1.6 million lawsuit, which he won.
I hope.
But they banned him off the platform, permanently banned him off the platform. Then Schlepp came along, and Schlepp was busting predators, getting them arrested. He was reporting every single thing that he was doing to Roblox, giving them the opportunity to address it. And then, you know, he had worked with Alex Rossen because he was groomed at 12 years old on Roblox. He grew up on the game.
No
He
shit,
was
so
groomed on the game. So this was his passion. He worked with Alex Rawson for a while. He worked with Gideon. He's got 6 arrests, felony arrests. These dudes are going to fucking prison, and they were all Roblox predators. And what did they do? They banned his account. They told him he's never allowed to have another account. They hit him with a cease and desist. And that's what really sparked the whole flames with this, because he just became super vocal about it. I immediately got him and Ruben Sim on a live, and we started, talking about it. We got it in front of Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen's currently working on a documentary with Schlepp, and I got him in contact with Ruben Sim. I know Donut jumped in right away. I immediately, as soon as I found out about it, I hit Nick up and I'm like, bro, you got another binder? You got another binder handy, buddy? Because we need to get in here, bro. Like, there's some shit going on. And now it's caught on. Like, Representative Rokana is bringing it to Congress, and he started a petition. And I've been supporting that, and people are like, how can you support a Democrat? Well, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. So when either side does some shit I like, I get to support that. And when either side does some shit I don't like, I get to tell them, fuck you, employee. Fuck you, public servant. Don't do that. And that's the beauty of not being involved with either party. But
dude, I will just say, just for that, it is like Dolly Parton says, it's like, why alienate one half of your audience that you might disagree with because you want to fight? And that's not how you're going to make change. This is to anyone that might be like, well, I have fucked that entire side. It's like, no, that's not how you have a communication. That's not how you make change. You make change by having those comms, by listening to their side. You don't have to agree with it, but talk about it. If you're just alienating it out the gate, guess what's going to happen? You fucking just butt heads the entire time.
I feel like we used to have that in this country.
Dude, we used
to not talk about politics much. And if it came up, be like, are you a Republican or Democrat? And they'd be like, oh, I'm a Democrat. Oh, I'm a Republican. Oh, okay, cool, man. And you'd move on with your fucking day, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like have healthy discourse. And it's like so vitriolic now. Everybody's so canonized, and I don't know exactly what the turning point was. I think a lot of it, they made us feral with that quarantine.
Mayor, I think social media at the end of the day, really, they could do hyperbole everything, and then that pendulum just started swinging further and further, and once it started getting out of control on one side, then it swing back the other side, and now you have just the loud, angry minority coming out, and then that causes more hate and discord, and then you're just like, well, fuck, this is so stupid. Why can't we just talk about shit?
Yeah. So for me, social media is about community, and I know that I have like huge numbers, and so I don't get to answer as many comments as I would like, because I would like to be able to address every single comment that's done, like a good faith comment. There's a lot of just trash gutter fucking, whatever, but I'd like to be able to address every good faith comment. And I'm not in a position where I can do that anymore. When I first started, I was able to do that, but like, I still read a lot of my comments, to the cost of my own mental health at this point. But there's been so many times where people will be like, you fucking woke lib piece of shit. And now like, there's so many times where people will call me a fascist or a Nazi. You're literally fucking Hitler. And I'm like, bro, I never got called a racist or a Nazi or a fascist until like the end of 2024. Never in my life, bro. Like I beat up fucking Nazis when they came to punk shows when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like 13, 14, 18 years old. They would show up with their fucking shaved heads and their swastika armbands on their shit, and we'd kick the shit out of them. We'd all get in fights, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You win some, you lose some. You know what I'm saying? But it's so weird to me that we've come to a point where I'm on Bunker Branding now with my cool friends, and I made a Florida Around and Find Out shirt, and it's like, that's one of the most Florida sayings ever. Just Florida around and find out, bitch. And it has, I have an alligator tattooed on the side of my head because it represents my Floridian side. And I put an alligator on there. I literally hit up Bunker and I'm like, hey, I need a shirt with an alligator holding some type of automatic rifle with a bulletproof vest. And like, if you can make some palm trees and some ghetto in the background and just have it say Florida Around and Find Out. And they're like, perfect.
Done,
and
bro.
So like, 2 months later, we go to drop it and it's like, we dropped it in unison with the day that I landed in Florida. So it would be kind of a cool, like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm in Florida, I'm advertising. And it happened to be like the day that Alligator Alcatraz opened. Totally unrelated. Got so many people trying to cancel me. And thank you guys for trying to cancel me. You guys are fucking dumb because I sold so many of that shirt off your guys' little hate videos, dog. Like, so that's my top selling shirt because of all of you whiny little bitches hate videos. So many people were like, that doesn't even make sense. That has nothing to do with that. We're going to go buy that fucking shirt. Appreciate it. Free advertising. Y'all are the best. Mwah.
The Streisand effect. It's like, look at this piece of shit. And you're like, I had no. And dude, 99% of the time, guess what? No one, it is just by chance. Something like that happens. You're like, oh shit, I didn't fucking know that was going to happen. Like,
It was the Sydney Sweeney effect before that shit even happened.
Yeah.
You know?
dude, was it for the Army 250? I started helping develop that last year. Last year, I was helping the Army 250. And then February or March was coming up and like, oh, hey, this lands on the president's birthday, so he's going to be involved with it, but it's still the Army 250. But then I got to watch how social media changed that into, oh, he wants the tanks and all this, and the parade, it's for him and his birthday.
But they were planning that long before.
Oh,
I
dude,
remember
I was
talking to you guys about it. You were like, we're going to get to live stream the Army's 250th birthday. And that was before Trump was even in office. And so then everybody's like, oh God, he's the king, he's the king. And there were the No Kings protests that still haven't stopped in Portland. I went to the one in Eugene just to check it out. Calm, lawful, peaceable. I was proud of my super progressive leftist city for the way that they conducted themselves. They made themselves heard. They made themselves shown. Like, I was out there. I just had cool, calm, respectful discourse with people. I did go in camouflage. I wore a Kamala Harris circle jerk shirt. It's a bunch of dudes like of different colors circle jerking each other, and it says "the people for Kamala," just to blend in, bro.
Yeah, to blend in.
I almost brought that shirt. I think I should have brought that shirt to wear for the podcast. But yeah, and you know, we just went out there and it was super calm. But they're still every single night they're still doing the protests in Portland. They're outside the ICE detention center, and it's like probably like a dozen people with a Bluetooth speaker and, you know, throwing bottles at the people when they come in and out. But, you know, it was weird to see because I knew before Trump even got in office that you guys were going to do that. And then so I see some people in the comments like, oh, these guys are supporting a dictator and, you know, Nazi this, Nazi that. It's like, God damn it, bro.
Well, we had individuals do videos on it, and they're like, I can't believe they would do this, or they didn't even watch us a majority of the time. And they clipped stuff from the when we were being interviewed by the Army, and then they were saying we were talking about anything with the president, and it was all about the leadership with the military, because I love where the Army is going with the leadership. We have war fighters in right now at the top echelon. I'm like, this is fucking perfect. These guys want to make the proper changes. This is great. But to watch people still manipulate that and change it to whatever their narrative was, it's like, oh yeah, this is the internet. They're not going to listen to a fucking thing. They're just going to take what they want and be angry about it, and then be a victim and be like, look, these are pieces of shit. And like, okay, internet, don't care. I want to continue to do good. Let's just keep kicking ass and taking names. And then thankfully we haven't been like no cancel for saying retard, none of like nothing, and never been brought as a problem. It's like making jokes like that, which is awesome. Or as you said earlier, it was the race ones where we just have fun with it because it's a fucking joke. No one's tried to cancel. And I think it's because the community's savages.
Your guys' community is fucking insane, and a lot of them have come over to hang out in the wood chipper tribe, and you can always tell because they are just fucking awesome, bro. Yeah. They are fucking awesome. Like, your guys' community is so about you guys, and I am so happy that like they kind of vibe with me too. So many of them. It's been such a blessing. Like, here's the thing that I see though, is that like you guys never punch down, bro.
No, fuck no.
You guys like don't say retard or gay or, you know, make racial jokes to punch down. You're not being vitriolic or anything. But here's the thing is that like there's a certain
context.
Yeah. Nuance and context are something that the internet seems to Your community gets it though, because they're intelligent people. But there's certain people that are going to try to demonize you for that, no matter what context it's in. No, you're not allowed to say a word because it offends me. Fuck you. Who the fuck are you, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? And every time I've had 3 major movements to cancel me, and I've gotten thousands and thousands and thousands of new subs or followers a day during those movements.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you literally are just pushing me farther, you fucking retards, just so you know, because you're mad because like I said a word or because I put out a shirt or whatever. Like, you literally, it helps me every time. And it's like they think that because they're offended that I'm going to put down the phone that I pay the bill on and stop making videos.
I didn't look at it that way.
Yeah.
They're right.
Oh my God.
It's like, sorry, not a chance.
Like with Joey Swoll, I like Joey, bro. I like Joey. He and I are mutuals. You know who he is, right?
Yep.
He and I are mutuals, and he had that thing where he did the thing with Hulk Hogan. He didn't do anything wrong, bro. Like, we grew up in the 80s watching Hulk Hogan do Hulkamania, brother, and telling us to eat our vitamins and fucking pray.
Yeah.
And like, that was a positive thing, but it was a character. Now, Terry, the man behind it, like who he was and what he did that's a separate thing. So for him to do a Hulk Hogan thing for Halloween and then repost it on Terry's death day, like, he didn't do anything wrong. He apologized though.
That you cannot.
He apologized, and it was not, you could tell that it wasn't a genuine apology because he didn't do anything wrong, dog. You know what I'm saying? I know that he also messed up and said, instead of saying people of color, he reversed reversed the flow of it. You know what I'm
Colored
saying?
people.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, and even then it's crazy.
So you could say that.
I know.
can't
And that's what
because
I'm just,
Irish.
dude, I'm just
You're allowed
about to
to
say
say
that. I can say that because they'll look at my ID and be like, oh, that is not a white name. Huh, I don't even know how to pronounce that. But you can't say it just because you're like,
No.
I'm Irish and
Because I'm
might
Irish
get in
and I have
trouble.
a last name that sounds French.
Yeah.
Because
So
we
you're-
did that on purpose when we came here. It's the funniest thing is that when my family came here, we had to change our name from
Could
a
you
very
turn
Irish.
it up, just point it up. There you go. Perfect.
Point it more at my mouth. Is
Yeah, there you go. Is
that better, Daddy?
There you go.
Okay, so when my family got off the boat, bro, there was so much racial discrimination towards us pasty freckled people, us weird gingers with hard R's, that they were throwing rocks and potatoes at us. We weren't allowed to have jobs. We weren't allowed in certain restaurants. We like had to use back and side doors. They called the police wagons paddy wagons because they were arresting so fucking many of us. Like, there was genuine profiling and racism against us. So when we got off the boats, when we would declare our names, we wouldn't declare Irish last names. Like, it went from Delaney to Delay because that sounds more French. So we could act like we were redheaded French people, I
Yeah.
guess. The
Oui.
fuck knows, you know what I'm saying?
A potato.
But like people don't understand that history. Irish people were some of the first slaves. We were literally
Prison island.
they bred us, bro. Like, they bred us. They said they're worth less than a mule, but we can breed them. They breed easily because, us Irish, we fuck. If there's one thing we do, we drink, we fuck, we fight, and we die, bro. Dennis Leary said it. But, we don't live with that history at the front of our frontal cortex all the time, and you can't let your whole identity be wrapped up in people are going to discriminate against me and I'm a victim, because that's what you're going to manifest, bro.
Literally,
you're going to see it everywhere.
Again, that is why from my childhood I could use, minority, I grew up poor, poverty, didn't have X, Y, or Z, didn't go to a good school. And because of that, that's why and then high school dropout. That's why I didn't want to do anything in life. The deck was stacked against me. I couldn't get a job, instead of, I'm going to learn this, be self-taught, figure out how business works, figure out how camera works, figure out how each one of these aspects of my life works. And I'm going to just continue to better myself, study, learn, and get to where I need to be. But not once would I ever use, I was a poor Mexican kid.
Yeah.
Like, how could I have survived in this world? The cards were stacked against me. Fuck off. Fuck right off.
Bro, isn't it demeaning though to be like, I'm this race, so the cards are stacked again? Isn't that kind of demeaning in its own way? Like, yeah, you can't actually overcome anything because you're that race and there's cards stacked against. Fuck you. If people were saying that shit to me, I would be genuinely offended. Oh, you're going to make me out to be a victim? How about suck all 3 inches of my Irish dick? You know what I'm saying? You were a high school dropout?
Yeah.
My dog. That's what's up. Me too. I got my GED, bro. Like as soon as I figured out that there was a way to get that shit done in like 8 hours instead of like another 3 years, I was like, boom, let's do this.
It was, hey, you're going to have to repeat senior year and you're going to have to do that again. Go to class, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fuck this. Dropped out, did a factory job for 4 hours. Then was like, oh yeah, really fuck this. Okay, I'll join the military. So moved back down to Texas, got my GED, found out how to do that. And I knew if I stayed where I was, I'm going to have fun with my friends and I'm probably not going to get my GED. I'll move someplace where I'll live with my sister and then get my GED and go every day and make sure I knock it out. And I did. And the second I got it, joined the military and then did that. And then I tried college again. I was like, oh yeah, I still fucking hate school. This is not for me. I'll drop out of this after a quarter and then I'll just start teaching myself everything I actually care for, and that's what I'll do, and not use the excuse, well you need a college education, or well you have to have your high school, that you have to follow the strict path if you want to get anywhere in life. I was like, fuck that. You know what's way more motivating to other people that start in poverty or different races is a dude that had everything stacked against them and then has built multiple businesses.
You really think that's more inspiring than somebody who has a degree in gender studies? Are you sure?
It's like, that's why it's like your story of, hey, you starting from childhood of like, hey, with it, just rewinding really quick. First, big shout out to your wife again. And I like you talked about her developing your mental mindset. It's like, hey, my mental maturity was smart guy, because you are so well spoken. Like that is the one thing, it just keeps clicking in my head. I'm like, man,
you can't say that to me. I'm Irish and it's racist to call me well spoken.
I'm
super offended. Jesus Christ. Get this dick out of me. I'm leaving.
It is so awesome to see how well spoken you are. You're like, man, this is an extremely intelligent dude. And a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to develop that mental maturity. That it takes a lot of work, practice, and patience, because you have to read on it. I don't know what your wife did with you to help develop it. If you read about it, or if it was the therapy side, because that is my favorite part, is learning the psychological side and how to break it down and how to help others, help myself understand why my brain operates in certain ways. And then I can take that information and use it. Even when I communicate with Sav, like we can break it down. Like, hey, why are you thinking that way? Hey, let's approach it this way instead. And then she starts doing that. Same if I'm giving tips to my friends on how to talk to their spouses. They're like, gosh, I'm mad, or fuck, I'm so pissed because here's the text. I'm like, look how you started that conversation. You started with you're pointing fingers. They're instantly going to be on guard. They're not going to open up to you. Change that around. Just tell them why you got affected in a calm, peaceful manner. Be like, hey, that hurt my feelings, X, Y, and Z. See the response you will get from that. And they did it. And they're like, oh, they were really nice. I'm like, right? It's fucking crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then they start developing that side of their personality. Oh my God, Eli, this is so much nicer. I get so much further in my arguments or disagreements. We actually disagree less now because we communicate. Mm-hmm. Right? It's fucking dope. Is that something you learned from your wife?
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing is that recovery is a lot about retraining your thoughts. And your thoughts are going to be dictated largely by your belief system, like by the way that you see the world. Mm-hmm. So I saw the world as I'm a victim and I'm entitled to my get back, whether that be through crime or, whatever type of bad behavior, because this happened to me as a child. I had to retrain my beliefs and my core beliefs. When we're in early stages of development, our early developmental years, there's two things that the world can signal to you: that the world is a safe place for you, or the world is not a safe place to you. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. But I had to go back and retrain to be successful in my recovery. Everybody has a different pathway in recovery. I had to retrain so much of my fundamental belief system. And I knew what I didn't want to be. and I knew where I didn't want to go and how I didn't want to see the world anymore. But I wasn't emotionally mature enough yet to know exactly what I wanted and how to get there. And my wife is just so good at like gentle suggestions and helped retrain me in how to communicate, a lot like what you were saying. Like a lot of it is just an approach. I would approach her in ways that were honestly kind of offensive.
Yeah.
You know, because if I feel like I'm right, then I'm going to come at you with some, righteous sort of indignation. Fuck that, bro. Like that's not how you get things done.
No.
You could be as right as you can possibly be. You could be 100% in the right with the facts. And the way that you come at somebody, it's like you said, instantly shuts them down. They're not going to hear anything that you have to say. You're not going to make any forward movement. And you honestly just look like a fucking lame. Yeah. Coming at people like that, you don't look cool, even if you're right. You don't look intelligent. You don't look like you're in the right. You just happen to be right going about it the wrong way. Mm-hmm. So, there was a whole lot of that. And she sort of helped retrain me how to do that. And, she had been in bad abusive situations her entire life.
As you said, you both had red flag relationships, which again, those are a norm, unfortunately. And a lot of people out there, you're probably in one, and it's that hard. Well, you can work on it. Or if you're just being in a relationship to be in a relationship, don't do that. Mm-mm. Get out, be happy by yourself, work on yourself, refine yourself, get that mental maturity, that emotional maturity, then approach a relationship with somebody at that same level. This relationship's completely different than any other relationship, right? You're like, what the fuck was I doing on any of those old ones?
Oh, dude, it's so daunting, bro. It's so daunting. Like I didn't realize, because I know that I was in the wrong with some of the stuff that I was doing. Like I dated sober people some of the time while I was on meth, which is just a wild fucking thing to do. It's wild to date a nurse when you're a fucking meth addict and meth dealer, and like she doesn't even know. She's just like, oh, your insomnia is really bad. Yeah, I never see you go to work. Where do you get all this money from? You're not a drug dealer, are you? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a drug dealer. That's crazy. I work security jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
I'm gonna go sell these catalytic converters, baby.
Yeah. So I know that I was doing foul shit, bro. Like I've never been like a cheater type of dude. I can't stand that shit.
Yep.
But I was being a piece of shit, but then she punches me in the fucking face 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, oh, I deserve that shit. Like those types of things, those types of dynamics aren't cool. And like now I'm with a woman who just like supports me mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I support her in all of those ways. I'm one of my biggest flexes is that like she gets to be a trad wife now. She gets to stay at home and like take care of the kids, pursue what she wants to pursue. She does the meal prep, which is insane. Half the time she'll like, if there's a subject we're both interested in that I'm doing content on, she'll be like, hey, let me research that too. And she'll come with like insights and shit that like I wouldn't have found, because she's smarter than me, dog.
Yep. She
just hates getting on camera. And as soon as she is a proficient communicator, but as soon as you put a camera in front of her, she's like, but it's crazy because she's so much better looking than me. She's so much smarter than me. It's just a camera is just a showstopper for her. So sometimes on live, she'll even sit there. She's got her own station with no cameras pointed at it and her own microphone. And she'll be like the off-camera co-host. But it's cool, man, because she likes doing the trad wife thing. And I love that I can allow her to do that. Because when we first moved in together, it was not like that. I was making like $300 a week for working in recovery, and the rent was $11.50 a month. And so, I would take side jobs and shit like that, but we were dirt poor and she had to have a job. And I hated sending her to work because, a lot of the times she'd be in a situation where like she was underappreciated at work or people were disrespectful. And like that, to me, to have my wife treated that way, it's fucking crazy for me because I'm not that dude. Like I'll show up. Yep. I'll show you, like, you disrespect my wife, I have no problem rolling up on you, bro. Like don't even try to get in your car. All your tires are fucking flat. Me and you got some business to handle, homie, right here in this parking lot. So, I'm that type of dude. I like that she gets to do whatever she wants, bro. You know, like I like being able to provide her with that. And I get to work from home, dude. Like,
Yeah.
how fucking cool is it to be able to work from home on your own terms, do what you want to? I have a studio right next to my home gym. For a dude like me who came from, you know, prison, that shit is crazy, man. I'm beyond blessed. So to me, every single day I wake up just so grateful for the life that God's given me and so grateful for the people in my life, bro. Like you guys have been such a blessing. Like, you know, I talk to you regularly. I talk to Nick regularly. I talk to Nick's dad like every day. Nick's dad is so fucking cool, man.
He's a G.
Yeah, he really is a gangster, bro. You know, and I just have amazing, incredible people in my life. And they're relationships that aren't built on a mutual need. You know, like, oh man, I got to have a bag for when I wake up type of shit. And I have things in common with these people. And we're all sort of working on a mutual mission to, in our own way, make the world a better place.
Yep.
And that's incredible to me.
Dude, we got such a good group of boys, and we get so much shit. People will say, like, certain sections of the internet will be like, oh, these are pieces of shit, or, oh, why would you want to associate with dudes like that? It's like, fuck no, these are my brothers I haven't had since the military. These are dudes that do actual good shit, and I trust them with my life, and they are making changes for the better. And you get to see how they motivate others, which is like one of the best feelings ever. It is. I was showing Sav last night on our Reddit subreddit. A dude just posted him jogging for a minute 30, or riding a bike for a minute 32 minutes. Hey, just want to thank the guys. I was gonna drive to this location, but instead I rode my bike because the fitness challenge going down right now. So I'm riding 10 miles, 20 miles there and back to help lose weight and just stay motivated. And then opening that, seeing that video, and then you read all the comments of, good job, man, keep doing it. Oh, you're kicking ass. Then you scroll down and it's people posting their selfies of them losing weight and they're not in the best shape. Doesn't fucking matter, because everyone in the comment section, nothing but pure motivation. You're fucking killing it right now. Keep kicking ass, keep taking names. Hell yeah, I hope you win the challenge. I'm like, this community, holy fucking shit. And it all started with just an episode the other day when we had Tectone on, just his fitness journey of losing weight.
Yeah.
And then you get to see it snowball into thousands of people instantly doing better.
I love him. I've never got to talk to him, but I love him. I think your guys' community, it's so awesome because your guys' community is on some straight positive shit, and so is mine. Like, I just, real quick, I want to just give a shout out to Bear Gibson. I love you, bro. Bear came into our community and he was struggling with addiction, and he asked, how do I get clean? Like, what do I do? And it was alive. I took time to talk to him, and then he took my advice and he did the work. He put in the work. He got himself through detox. He got himself into treatment, and he would stop in the lives and give updates like, hey guys, I've, 36 days in treatment. I've got another, this many days left, but I'm positive and life is going good. And he would just give us regular updates, and just watching, I'm such a small part of this equation too, because Bear put in the work. I gave him a little bit of advice. He sought out the work. He sought out the places. He got it done. But everyone in the comments, every single comment to Bear is just, we fucking love you, dog. We're proud of you. You could do this. Hell yeah, get it. You're inspiring me to want to get clean. And it just snowballed and skyrocketed. And now Bear, I lost one of my kids at the end of 2022. His name was Alan. And Bear just had a kid, and he named his kid Alan.
No shit. What happened? Do you mind?
I'm being
about?
Fucking gay. Make me stop being gay.
No,
Bear,
dude.
I love you. Like, it means so much to me, dog. Like, I'm literally, my eyes are having.
What was Alan? Just how old was Alan?
So Alan was 23 years old. He was living with me in Florida, and he was a huge Vic Blends fan. I don't know if you know who Vic Blends is, but he's a dude who just goes out and he's a barber, and he'll take his chair out and he'll walk up to people and be like, hey man,
Oh, I think I've
you
seen
need a
it.
haircut. Like, he does a lot for homeless people.
Yes.
Active duty military, people that are, low income, and he'll just, hey, let me cut your hair. And he'll ask them their life story, and he does videos like that. And so I took him one day to go get a haircut from my barber, and my barber was like, dude, if you go to barber school, I'll get you a job here, bro. If you want to, because that's what he wanted. He really wanted to do that. And my buddy Kyle sort of gave him the confidence to do it. And he found a barber school back in Eugene where, you know, we were from, that he really wanted to go to. So I was like, okay, man, let's do it. Let's, you know, run that shit. So he went back to Oregon and he went through the barber school. He graduated. He got a job at the coolest fucking spot in town. It's the spot where like the, you know, young hipsterish kids go, or whatever your terminology for y'all is these days. I don't fucking know. And he went out to celebrate and he had too many drinks. Somebody offered him a little bit of cocaine to sober up. It was not cocaine. It was pure fentanyl.
God,
And he just, you know, he thought he was just doing a bump to sober up a little bit, and it just killed him. So
I know. Oh, I apologize for that. Or my condolences, brother. Is that one of your big reasons? You're like, okay, Narcan, and did that
I
start?
was doing that before. Actually, Alan had come out and gone on the Narcan distribution missions with me. He'd been out there hugging homeless people and giving them Narcan and snacks. And, you know, we'd have people that were drug dealers roll up in the G-Wagons, bro, and be like, hey, can I get some Narcan, man? Like, dog, what's up? Can I get it? And I'm like, yeah, bro, here, let me give you. I would stock them the fuck up because I'm not going into the trap houses, but that's where they're going.
Yep.
So I'd literally, you know, some people would be like, why are you giving drug dealers Narcan? Because they can save fucking lives that I can't, homie. And it's about keeping people alive until those people are ready to make the change. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot help somebody once they're fucking dead. As long as they're still breathing, there's a chance that they're going to be able to turn their life around, man.
I think there was a video that popped up of an individual that rolled down their windows. Hey, here's some food, some water. I help people get off addiction. And she was like, thank you. And then one of the statements that stuck with me, and this was yesterday, I watched that. It was, hey, when you're ready, call my number. When you're ready, call my number. It's like, that's a fucking powerful statement, because that, I think, is the key. You have to be ready to make that change. And that mindset is like, okay, I need to get clean. I need to get sober. Right. And
yeah. Well, bro, pressure is not going to work because it's such a long haul game. And you forget your misery so quickly. There's something about people that are drug addicts. We forget our misery as soon as life starts to get better. We forget what it's like to be in the fucking gutter or to be on the fucking prison yard. We forget what it's like to be in the hotel, peeking out the blinds, waiting for the SWAT team to kick in the door, super paranoid, been up for 8 days. All that shit washes away as soon as life gets better. So you don't have that to measure anymore. So it's so easy to fall back.
that makes a lot.
It's so easy to fall back, and you get what we call, euphoric recall or triggers. You remember how good it was, how magic it was. You start thinking about the first 3 times you used, because that's really what you reference. That's what your mind takes you back to. What happens, the neuroscience, the neurobiology is that you are, the limbic center in your brain is where your reward chemicals come from. Oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, and you end up rerouting different neural pathways in your brain when you start doing drugs, and those pathways start sending the signal that you need that to feel that. Mm-hmm. And these are things that you actually, your mind will tell you that you need to survive. So basically, when anybody who goes through withdrawals and successfully does this is a fucking hero to me, because what's everybody's number one basis instinct of a human being? What is their most basic instinct? Survival.
Yep.
We are trained inherently as living creatures to survive. And you, unfortunately, train your brain that what you need to survive is those things that are giving you those chemicals, because you're not getting them through normal shit anymore. And every time you use, it's flooding your brain with these chemicals in unnatural levels. So your brain is sending you signals that you are literally going to cease to exist, that you are going to die without them. That's what going through the mental part of withdrawals is your brain's telling you you're going to die. Then there's the physical side of withdrawals, which can vary from substance to substance. Methadone, alcohol, and benzodiazepines are the 3 that can physically kill you.
It was wild.
Physically kill you if you don't do it the right way. So if you're having struggles with any of those three, seek medical withdrawal. Medical detox is what you need. But you know, somebody who's going through fentanyl withdrawals is going to be way worse than meth withdrawals. I've gone through opioid withdrawals, never fentanyl withdrawals, and opioid withdrawals are horrific physically. You've got the mental, the physical. Meth, the mental is like the worst part. The physical is you sleep a lot and you wake up starving, and then you sleep a lot and then you wake up starving. I almost feel like, and this makes me sound like kind of a weirdo or whatever, but I feel like there's a spiritual element to the meth withdrawals as well. Like it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. Like you are emotionally just destroyed. Like you can't regulate any of your emotions. You can't tell what's a catastrophe and what's a minor like speed bump. Like you are so shot out, bro.
Yeah.
Like it is so chaotic and so crazy. Like, so anybody who's made it successfully through withdrawals, fucking props to you. You're a hero because you're literally fighting your most base instinct. Your instincts are to survive and to reproduce, you know? Those are the two main things.
That's wild, especially with, as you're saying, it's like the dopamine receptors. I think that's with heroin, which would be a, what you just said, the
Opioid?
word. Oh, an opioid. Opioid is that your dopamine receptors are now rewired to like, hey, you need this to replace that, right?
Yeah.
And that's where it's like the happy, sad, like the feel good is now rewired completely. And then, is it just like that craving for it? I think a lot of people, that's like that mindset was like, okay, imagine how do you explain that to somebody that hasn't went through it? It's like, how would you explain this? Like, hey, you want this, but now you can't, or your brain is, oh, fuck, I need this so bad now.
So your brain is sending a signal that you need it for survival. So there's a gravitational fucking pull for it. Physically though, I mean, look at withdrawal symptoms. You are shaky. You go from feverish to cold sweats. You shit your pants. You throw up. Like imagine the worst flu you've ever had, but knowing that if you just do a little bit of opioids, it all goes away instantly. Like you're crawling in your skin. It feels like there's bugs under your skin. You're fucking hallucinating. You're covered in your own puke and shit, but one little hit will make it all go away and you'll be okay again. Most of the people, by the time they get to that point, they're not even getting high anymore. They're just using to feel normal. They're just using not to get sick, man. And it feels like a gradual slope, but it's such a quick drop off with opioids. It's crazy. For me, the first time I did crystal meth, I was like, this is my whole personality and I'm going to give my life to this shit. Like it was immediate. Opioids have never really got me. Like I've gotten to the point where I was physically and mentally addicted to opioids a little bit because I was on prescriptions. It was all given to me by a doctor. But when it was time to stop, like when my doctor said, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. I didn't argue with them.
Keep going if you want. I'm just readjusting this. This is my bad.
Is it sliding?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, you're good.
I don't like you this close to me, Eli. So, you know, like as soon as he said it was time to stop.
It's fucking really quick. It's wild. It's Gary literally relapsed because he smashed his finger, got 50 Vicodin, and then he said in his head, I won't use, the pain was really bad. So like, here's 50 Vicodin and I'll throw these away. This is after he's went to prison and been clean for, I forget how long at that point. He's like, I didn't throw them out. I took them all. And then that one thing led into another and addiction again.
Yeah. And as soon as the doctor told me that he was cutting me off, I was like, okay, cool. And I can come off opioids like that. But like, so right now I'm in a weird transition period right now because I'm actually trying ADHD medication again because my ADHD, I realize is setting me back and I've been just raw dogging it and bouncing off walls and being super manic and shit. But it's like, it's literally affecting every aspect of my life. And I don't like that. But
I know what's going to come because it is all methamphetamines for the...
I am on Strattera.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Strattera is a non-stimulant
That's the new
ADHD
one, isn't it?
medication. It is, yes. And so like I refuse, I've had doctors trying to give me medication for my ADHD the whole time I've been in recovery. I've had two doctors, my current doctor and one other doctor that was like, Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Because I tell anytime I go to a new doctor, I'm like, if you give me narcotics, especially stimulants, you will fucking kill me. I have an allergy. I ruined my whole life. I was a drug addict for 20 years. You cannot give me narcotics. It does not matter what I say. It does not matter how fucked up I am. You cannot give me narcotics. You cannot give me stimulants. Do you understand? And they'll be like, well, but you know, if you're unmanageable with your ADHD, you sure you don't want to try Vyvanse? It's like Adderall, but stronger. Sir and or ma'am, what the fuck? But now I'm trying Strattera. And it has this adjustment period that I was not expecting. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I've put grams of meth up my ass before. I can handle an adjustment. It's been brutal, dude. Like, I feel weird in my skin. Like, I don't feel me and normal and shit during this adjustment period, but I'm starting to get through it. I'm starting to get a little bit of my manic back, which is cool. I want my energy and my high energy. I just want to be able to focus a little bit.
It's hard. So I have Ritalin is what I'm prescribed, and then finding that dosage, because I am very like Vicodin. I threw those away when the VA prescribed me Vicodin for back, and then I get wired. I have that it wakes me up. It wires me if I take Vicodin. So then the VA naturally was like, oh, shit, you can't sleep. I'm like, yeah, dude, I am wired on Vicodin. Okay, we'll just give you Ambien to offset that when you need to sleep. That was the VA's answer, was Vicodin, Ambien. Threw those away. I was like, fuck, those are too highly addictive substances. No, I'm good. Because my mom, she was addicted to like a whole bunch of shit. That's why I'm like, nope, no drugs. No drugs for Eli. Fuck off. So finally 6 months ago, maybe 6 months to a year ago, I got prescribed Ritalin. I've always known I've needed it because anytime I would take what's the other? There's Ritalin and Adderall. People would be like, you get so hyped on Adderall, right? I'm like, no, I just felt like at peace actually for once. It's
normal,
quiet.
Focus.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. I absolutely would be, if I could mitigate my addictive situation with stimulants, it would be ideal. Because like even smoking large amounts of crystal meth, everyone around me would be tweaking out and I would be calm and focused, but I focus on the wrong shit, dog. I focus on felonies to get money. I focus on, okay, we're going to, I'm going to get all that money. Then I'm going to get them guns. Then we're going to get them bitches. Then bitches talk too much. We're going to get rid of them. Then by the time we're done with that, they're going to have more money. We're going to go get that money.
Business, like, you're an entrepreneur in the wrong way.
Wrong direction, homie. I'm a walking crime spree. So I can tell you what, like, you were saying getting your dosage with Ritalin is difficult. I could tell you my dosage. I would take my prescribed dose for 2 days and then I'd take the whole bottle and then I'd tell the doctor, oh, it's not working. I need Adderall because it's stronger, or Vyvanse. And then I'd go through that bottle in like 2 days and then I'd be on the streets trying to buy ounces of meth again.
No shit.
And you like, bro,
at least though, like that is again testament to your willpower. You're like, I know my fucking weakness and I know it will turn into a problem. Mine was, and I gotta watch my therapist, psychologist. She was like, well, I don't know. I don't want to give you too much. I was like, no, don't worry. And I could tell her worry was I was trying to use it. I wanted a whole bunch and then I'd use it and just cycle through it. And then I was supposed to call a month in and it took 2 months. I was like, hey, my prescription's just running out. She's like, weren't you supposed to run out a month ago? I was like, yeah, that was too much. So I have the dosage until I felt like a good and I didn't want to do any more than that. She's like, oh, you went the opposite route I was thinking with your tattoos and shit. She's like, I thought you were going to be maybe an issue. Holy shit, you actually had it dialed in. I was like, yeah, that was way too much. So I started cutting them in half and that felt really good. And then I would only do it Monday through Friday because I didn't want to do weekends or get addicted. She's like, yeah, okay, well, fuck. Well, there's your prescription. Every 2 months it is then. Okay, good job, Eli. I was like, thank you. She's like, what do you feel on it? I was like, the most peace I've ever felt in my fucking life. I felt quiet for the first time in my life. That's what I always said. I felt quiet. It wasn't constant noise. And I could just do my tasks as I needed them.
And I'm hoping that I get that with the Strattera.
Same.
Once it normalizes a little bit. I'm still in that really awkward stage where like just don't even feel like me right now. So I'm working through it. And, you know, the doctor was like, you might need to double your dose, but we want to start you at this dose. And I'm like, I'm hoping not to double any fucking doses, dog. Like if I could take the minimal dose, I'm trying to be a minimalist these days. Like I quit vaping, but I started doing the ons, but I'm at like the 2 milligram ons.
Good, dude.
Like it's the lowest dose and I could possibly get of nicotine. Like I'm trying to be minimalist with everything except, and the whole reason I'm doing the Stratera besides being, you know, just unmanageable as far as like my ability to focus or research or do any of that type of shit, keep my life organized. Luckily, I have a wife who is great with making lists for everything and remembering dates. But my caffeine intake is just all day, every day energy drinks to the point where I'm not hydrating with water. That doesn't seem healthy.
Yeah.
But if you're going to drink energy drinks, I would just like to take a second to recommend my personal favorite, Echelon energy drinks. And right now, are these still available, Eli?
They sold out in a day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was on top of it and I got 2 cases. But Echelon has some great other flavors besides the unsubscribed flavor. They have a mango habanero. They have a pineapple, some other type of spicy shit. And it feels really good in your mouth and has 300 milligrams of caffeine.
It wakes you the fuck up. Actually, dude, so October we launched the new ones, the cherry lime and Nyx cola. But we added a hydration element into them, so you actually hydrate at the same time.
I like that.
Oh, yeah, we
that.
wanted super healthy. That was the
Can
biggest
you guys
thing.
Slide some off to the side of the cherry lime for me. So
Well, dude, we got these. We're actually doing like big rollout, and
Okay.
then we're setting aside for all of you. So we already built the list. You guys will be receiving pallets of the shit.
Did you hear that?
So
I'm on a list, and it's not Epstein's. Yay!
God. Yeah, we were taking care of all y'all. We're like, oh fuck yeah, this is gonna be delicious.
Yes.
Dude, it has been a fucking pleasure. Holy shit. And if we can end it on, I don't know if it's a down note, a positive note. What was one of your favorite things to do with your kiddo, Alan?
Man, so like here's the thing is that like I have 3 boys, right? And my son Graves and I have a lot of stuff in common that we like to do, video games, movies, that type of stuff. But Alan was so much more like me in that he was fearless and social. Like Graves is antisocial. He likes to rot max. He'll watch Asmongold and play video games for like days. But you know, Alan was just really incredibly social and liked to go on missions. One of my favorite memories is, so like I told you, we were dirt poor. And I had a friend who was getting rid of a couch that was decent. And my wife had a minivan. So I was like, hey, Alan, you want to help me get this couch? He's like, hell yeah, let's go get it, right? So we drive over there and we stuff it into the minivan, but it's like sticking halfway out the back and there's no seats available. And I'm like, let's sit on the couch hanging halfway out of this minivan and we'll sit up towards the front so it doesn't fall out the back. And he's like, that sounds like we could die. And I'm like, possibly. And he's like, fuck yeah, let's get it, right? I mean, he was just that type of dude, but he was the dude that like, he was social and he had a great smile and a great personality, and he would light up every room that he would walk into. Like everybody would remember Alan's name. Everybody remembered the feeling that Alan made them feel because he was just loving and kind. There's nothing shady or fucked up about that kid at all. You know, like the darkness that I've had to fight inside of myself my whole life. He didn't have that. He was just a good kid, man.
Dude, that is amazing.
And thank you for allowing me to access that memory and to shine a light on that, man. I appreciate you.
Dude, of course, brother. That is, I can't even imagine the pain you felt with that. Like, not even to touch base. Like, I had a daughter that was stillbirth, so we didn't have that opportunity to connect. But I know it was still like one of the hardest, like heartbreaking things because you just feel so powerless as a parent. But to respect you and just stay on your path after that laid into recovery too. Like, fucking brother, you are a goddamn warrior for that. Like, seriously.
Here's the thing. My family got 23 years with him, and I'm sorry that you didn't get that. I have to view it as a blessing that we got that amount of time with him. And for me to stay sober through that, I just did it out of respect for him. Like there's so many things that I could use as an excuse to go back out and use.
You honored him the proper fucking way.
Imagine how disrespectful it would be, because he was so proud of me for getting clean. Imagine how disrespectful, what type of a puke of a human being would I be to use him passing as an excuse to go back to that shit? I couldn't do that, bro.
Dude, that's a fucking God damn it, dude. You're just such a good human. I hope you know that. You inspire me to be a better person, and shit like that is why you are in this group with, like, no questions asked. You will always be a homie to all of us.
I just
brother.
bask in your glory, bro.
No.
I don't even need a tan when I'm sitting next to you.
Dude, it has been a fucking honor having you on. Truly, truly. Thank you so much, JD. Where can the people find you at?
JD Delay 5150 on YouTube. My 1.7 million TikTok is banned right now, but it'll probably be back up tomorrow. It's my 8th time being banned, because I talk about putting into wood chippers and they don't like that. But JD Delay 1017 over on TikTok. Insta's just JD_Delay. Facebook is JD Delay. And you can find me on Bunker Branding and probably in the back of the bus with Eli.
Woo! Can't wait for that one. That's the after show. Dude, fucking brother. Thank you so goddamn much.
Love you, man. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for having me. I've been waiting for you to have me on this show. I was like, Eli's got his own show.
I'm so fucking stoked.
I hope he invites me. I hope he invites me. I'll show him my nipples.
I think I was the first one to call. I had called you. Like, I was like, I really want you on this. Even Show, I have a text with Show. I was like, dude, I'm so fucking stoked for JD's episode.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Well, we'll go potty. Guys, go. Thank you so much, guys and gals. If you're gonna, we'll do the Pepperbox after show. It'll be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Go hang out. Have a good time. Appreciate
Go to Pepperbox, drink Echelon, go to Bunker Branding, and love yourselves, because we love you.
Mwah. Kisses.